Hey, hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the event today. Thanks so much for coming to the next session. My name is Mark Kilens. I'm going to be speaking with you folks about people first go to market. Let's have a conversation about a new and different way on how you can grow your business using more of a people first approach. Going to cover 7 ways to take control of your go-to-market strategy using this approach. My name again is Mark Kilens. I'm the CEO and co-founder of TACK. TACK is a media and marketing firm helping businesses use a people-first go-to-market strategy to create, capture, and convert demand into revenue. It's all about using relationships and partnerships to power your go-to-market, make it more human, and make it more enjoyable. So we're going to dive into all of that. Let's get into the conversation points for today. First, let's start with the why. Why do businesses need a new way when it comes to approaching how they go to market? There's many reasons. We'll cover them all. And hopefully they spark some ideas with you and how you can think about your business and which maybe headwind it's facing the most right now. Then we'll talk about the new direction businesses need to take and what that direction looks like, how to find the right tack for your business. And then, of course, we'll cover the 7 different strategies with one example for each strategy and leave you with a great resource you can take with you at the end, this very detailed workbook about people first go to market. And again, my name is Mark Kilens. I spent about 9 years at HubSpot, about 3.5 years at Drift, conversational marketing and chatbot company. I was most recently CMO at an event technology and webinar company named Airmeet. And again, now I'm the CEO and co-founder of TACK. I started TACK with Nick Bennett. So this was the last 10 years between 2010 and 2020. Hey, the seas were pretty calm. There wasn't too much turbulence out there in the business world for the most part. Interest rates were, pretty steady. There was a lot of growth opportunity. Inbound marketing was a huge opportunity for a lot of businesses. There were new channels that weren't fully saturated yet. There was a lot of nice calm waters for the most part. But if we dig into some of the things I just mentioned, since about 2020, and maybe the pandemic was the biggest catalyst of all for this change to happen, the waters have become a little bit more rough. So if you think about why a people first go to market strategy is so important for your business to try and adopt right now, it really is around these 5 things. The old way of going to market was a very company first, company centric way. And since the advent of the internet and then really the advent of social media and the mobile computing platform, content has become a huge driver of a lot of the things that we do on the internet, of course. But with that, it's created a lot of what I would call brand spam from businesses. Businesses that focus too much probably on lead quantity. They focus on capturing demand, but not actually creating demand and building that trust and awareness in the mind of the buyer up front. They just focus on hey, I want a transactional, demand creation strategy. And look, you're going to request a demo, right? You're ready to buy. It's not how it works, obviously. It's become transactional. And a lot of businesses have tried to go out to market on their own, and going out into the market on your own is much harder, especially today. When you look at the middle column in this graphic, there's just too many headwinds facing a business. The company first approach that's on the left here is really facing some troubling times because there is so much content, and the content is optimized mostly for the algorithms now. It's not even really optimized as much as it could be or should be for the humans. The channel saturation is out of control. There's less new channels. Between 2000 and say 2015, there were a lot of new channels. A lot of channels didn't have as much competition as they do today. Now there's a lot more competition. There's a lot less new channels. Everything's more expensive. Both organic and paid channel activation is more expensive. Cookieless future, that's a big implication, right? You're not able to track as much, understand the buying journey as much. It means you have to take control of your own destiny more and more. Connection crisis. This was, of course, the COVID shift. There's so much difference now in how people work and live. Yes, some has gone back to what it was before COVID, but some hasn't. There's been more and more people now wanting a more flexible remote work lifestyle. This has created more disconnection between customers and companies, and customers are expecting more from companies. And the convergence of AI. How is AI going to affect the customer point of view, the marketer, the seller point of view, the company point of view, if you will? At the end of the day, I think AI is a really important and very significantly great technology advancement. However, we got to figure out how to use AI and human intelligence to create a more people-first go-to-market, which is what's on the right-hand side right now on this slide, which is all about like, how do we cultivate more meaningful interactions, not just spamming people with things, but like take the time, slow down, and how do we create content, events, product experiences that create meaning and people actually remember and care more about? How do we focus on the quality of the leads, not just the pure quantity of what we're going after? How do we create demand before we try to capture demand? How do we cultivate that sense of community and that sense of belonging, which goes into relationship building? How do we focus on relationships, not transactions? How do we think about this more in a long-term game versus a short-term game? And how do we do it in a more partner-centric way so we don't have to go to market alone, but we do it with other people? So our point of view is the company first way served us well for a good amount of time. But now, because of these five, pressures that are being put onto businesses these days, the company first way is not as effective. It's more expensive. And overall, the cost to acquire a customer is just going up. It's just going up and up and up. The other thing, the reason why it's driving the cost of acquiring a customer is going up, the driving force behind that too, is the sixth thing, which is interest rates. You can't deny this, right? If you look at interest rates from July 2020 to now, they've really increased dramatically. There was a blip in like 2016, 17, where they went up a little bit, but then they came back down. Again, really, for the last decade, it was free money. So you couple all those things with higher interest rates, it's a tough environment out there. So you need to tack, you need to pivot. The waters are a little stormy like this. So we have created an approach to help you find smoother seas. I'm going to hit on one more thing before we get into what is people first go to market and how can you use it at your business. And this is related to how much data is generated and predicted to be generated on an annual basis going forward. So data is everything from content, channels, conversations, the digital fingerprints and footprints we all leave behind. The data is exploding. So if you look at this, and this is in zettabytes, I'm not even sure how many zeros are behind a zettabyte, but it's a lot. And you can see it's exponentially going up. There's going to be more and more things being put onto the internet, into the cloud, that yes, AI can use and learn from, and we can benefit from probably, but there's a data explosion that's going to continue. But when you look at the other side of this viewpoint, which is people, the population of people, yes, has gone up pretty well, almost 3x in the last, say, 100 or not even 100 years, 70, 75 years. But if you look at the projections, it's going to grow a little bit more, but then it's actually going to plateau, maybe even come down in the next, say, 80 or so years. So if you, again, focus on people, which ultimately are the most important thing when it comes to business, you'll see that, look, data is going to be exploding. There's going to be more and more distractions for all of us. But if you spend time focusing on those relationships and those partnerships, you'll get more value from the people, not as much as from the data. Yes, data is going to help you a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying don't focus on data, but I think you're going to find more long-term wins and successes by taking this people-first approach. So what is people-first GTM? It's a business strategy that uses relationships and partnerships to help you create, capture, and convert demand into revenue. And it does this by putting people at the center of every interaction and experience. When it comes to your content, when it comes to a channel, when it comes to how do you sell, how do you onboard someone, it's always putting the person and thinking about them and how they would want to experience that piece, that piece of material, that interaction, that moment in time, whatever that might be. So we've created this set of principles to help us guide us in how do we actually put people at the center of these experiences and interactions. And ironically, it spells people. And of course, it starts with how do you be more collaborative and supportive as you go to market? This is both from an internal standpoint, but also an external standpoint. How do you partner more with the people inside your business? How do you partner more with potential customers, with people that are going after a similar ideal customer profile? Just being more collaborative and then supporting those other people or organizations is where it all starts. And you do that through empathy. You are kind, you are thoughtful, you're patient. You do this through taking an empathetic approach and almost slowing down to speed up, if you will. The other way you do this as well is by focusing on your authentic self. Don't try to be something you're not. Originality is key. If you think about if you think about businesses who are really succeeding these days, they have a point of view, they have a narrative, they have a story, they believe in something, they've created a belief system around their company, around their brand, both for their employees, but also for the bigger community that they've cultivated, that they've sparked. So being original and being true to yourself is super important. With that comes staying present in the moment. Presence is something that's super important. You don't want to just be off in your ivory tower and think that, hey, I know everything, I'm great. No, you want to be in the moment, be connecting with people, be collaborative, show your empathy, be empathetic, and of course, stay true to yourself, be your original self. So you can see how these things build off of each other, right? So when you think about people first go to market, it's of course like an actual strategy, but it's also a mindset and belief system. You also want to always be the learner. You want to be learning. So you want to be the student, but also the teacher at times. So when it comes to people first go to market, you know that everything can always be better in some way. That, you know, the status quo is a very dangerous thing. You don't want the status quo to creep in too much. So you have this kind of beginner's mindset. You're always trying to learn and be present in the moment when you're learning. And of course, it's all powered by these experiences through other people. And how do you do that? You're memorable. You're focusing more on the quality of things, not the quantity. You're slowing down to speed up. You're taking a more original approach to how you go to market that's more people-centric, that's empathetic, and you're learning along the way. So that's people first go to market from a principle standpoint. One interesting exercise you could do right now is ask yourself, how well does my team, my company, my brand, align to these principles? Which ones are we really, strong at, the ones that we might need to be a little bit better at, and ask yourself, maybe we could be inspired by some of these and adapt them for our company. So then we go into actually, how does this work? Right now we know why people first go to market is an important thing to focus on. It's much better than company first. We know what it means at a high level, but now let's talk about how does it actually work. So the model is made up of 7 different growth strategies. At the very outer ring of the whole model, it's partner-led growth. It's how do you partner with other people and organizations to bring a product to life, an event to life, a piece of content to life. And we'll talk more about this in just a moment, but partner-led growth is the thing you should use for each of the 3 different types of offers you put into the market, which are going to help you build trust, and then the channels you need to activate. So let's talk about the offers right now. So the offers are content-led, event-led, and product-led. They can be used at any point in the people first go to market model. You could use content to create, capture, convert demand. Same with events, same with product. So offers are there to help you establish that authority, that trust, that relationship, and to nurture and grow it. But again, you're not focused on offers for the sake of focusing on offers. You're focused on offers that are going to resonate with your ideal customer profile, with the people you want to create those meaningful interactions with, that you want to really build that trust with. So once you have, so those offers created or being created in partnership with either other people in the business, your customers, your partners that could be going after, again, a similar customer, type of customer, you want to activate those offers in these channels. And we think of channels in a much more strategic way. We're not thinking about channels that are transactional in nature, email, paid search, paid social. Most of those are pretty transactional. They're very important. They work. But when it comes to people first go to market, you want to take a more strategic, holistic viewpoint. So when you think about creating demand, it all starts with the tip of the spear, which is the community that's around your business. All the conversations, all the different things and interactions and experiences that are happening maybe around your business, your brand, your story, that you want to maybe add to, listen to. It's all the stuff that you don't own. It's the unowned community, if you will, right? That surrounds your brand. And this is all about creating engagement, belief, ultimately trying to get someone to become a lead, get their email address so you can actually build a relationship with them, which leads us into member-led growth. Think of member-led growth as the new way you can deliver resources and value to your buyers and customers. So think about this as, we have resources on our website. What if we take all those resources and put them into a nice streamlined membership experience with one click of a button to sign up? Someone gets all those resources. We start to create our own community. We create an own community around our brand and business. And this allows us to get much more detailed metrics and data points on each buyer, each customer. We can personalize the experience to them more because now they've opted into a relationship with us through this member-led motion. And we're trying to really help cultivate ultimately, the right types of sales opportunities for our sales team. It's capturing demand, capturing interest using this member-led growth approach. We're very bullish on how this will play out, and how the website and resources being delivered on the website will change to be more like of a membership experience, if you will. After that, it's about customer-led growth, which is how do you work with and partner with your customers to ultimately exceed their expectations, but also turn them into super fans, into advocates, into really big believers of the product, the brand, your business, and help, work with them, partner with them to help you take that demand and convert it into new demand, turn that and spin the flywheel and activate those customers in the community through the membership and all the way back through. So that's the model at a high level. Let's dive into each of these pieces a bit more with an example. So partner-led growth, if you look at the top right, each of these slides is going to go through the core metrics that you want to kind of focus on. So at the first set of metrics, it's going to be about reach, referrals, and revenue. And referrals is a very broad term. Referrals could be, check out this piece of content. Hey, you should go sign up for this free product, or you should become a customer of this business. I'm using referrals lightly and very high level because there's so many types of referrals. But with partner-led growth, it's all about going back to those principles, people and collaboration. It's about making sure that you have the alignment around the belief, the ICP overlap, of course. And it's about using partners as an ecosystem accelerant. We'll talk about this as it relates to the example that we're going to mention in just a moment with Klaviyo. And the components of it could be many. It could be about influencers, creators, developers, sellers, employees. It could be from an internal or an external standpoint, but it's all about 1 + 1 = 3. How do I work with someone else or another entity to bring something into the market or grow something in the market? So partner-led growth for us at TACK is like the most important thing when it comes to people first go to market, because you're ultimately going to get more for your effort when you partner with someone else, as long as it's the right partner. So Klaviyo is a company that does e-com. It's an all-in-one e-com platform, if you will, for online stores. So they've done a tremendous job building their business. They're about a $500 million revenue business. They're about to go public soon. And Klaviyo did something very interesting. They partnered with Shopify. They built their whole kind of product around the Shopify ecosystem, if you will. And they decided to look, we can partner with Shopify in a few different ways. And we can build a channel of agencies who can also support Klaviyo customers, and 77% of their revenue is coming from this Shopify ecosystem. Their partnership with Shopify, either at the product level, more of a pure co-marketing, co-selling level. But it's a really interesting story about how do you partner with another big business, but then also agencies that are serving the clients that your product is designed for, to get to revenue growth at a really high level. I mean, 500 million is no joke. So they did this in a really efficient way, and it really honed in on that ICP and figured out how to partner with the right, both big and small businesses to accelerate their growth. Love this story. So now let's go into the actual different channels first. So the channel of community-led growth is all around influence, trust, people, and being helpful. So this is the communities and the places on the internet and the actual physical places you go to that you don't have any direct ownership of. This is just where the conversations are happening, the interactions are taking place. It's all about engagement, followership, leads. You could do this in a ton of different spots. The components by no means is an exhaustive list, but this is all about participating, adding value before asking for value, and getting the conversations going and doing it with other people. All right. A good example of this is what Lavender is doing. Lavender is this really cool technology to help you do more outbound email and whatnot. And they've activated their community of both employees, because that's where community-led growth starts. Once you have a few employees, you've activated a community. Now it's about how do you work with them to activate their networks and their other communities? And how do you partner with other people to create content, to put on events, to maybe build free tools or products for that community? That's exactly what Lavender is doing. Check them out, lavender.ai. It's a great example of community-led growth. They're especially doing really well on LinkedIn, which again is something you don't own, but it's a great place. It's a great channel for you to create that demand, which is the first step in the model. Second step is capturing demand. How do you capture demand with member-led growth? This is all about changing your viewpoint of resource delivery. How do you deliver content, resource centers? It's about finding that first-party data, creating personalized experiences, tailoring those benefits, being more value additive. And the components are about, you need a belief system first, like to have an owned community and to have a really strong point of view around your content, your events, your free tools. You need to believe in something. What's your vision, mission, even what's your principles as a business or values? And this is going to help guide in why people would sign up for your membership or opt in to receive more content from you. This is all about creating more pipeline, both new and expansion pipeline, because member-led growth is going to help bring in new business. It's also going to help nurture and build relationships with your customers to create more demand. It's going to help create demand in both directions at the end of the day. And you can use content, experiences, special perks. You can do a ton of different things to get people to sign up and keep them engaged. But it's all, again, about adding that value through a really seamless experience. One-click sign up. You can still share these things, these resources for free on your website and optimize them for SEO. But at the end of the day, if you want to position it as, hey, you get all of this in one spot with one click of a button, sign up, that's going to be very interesting for a lot of people, and you'll get a lot of conversion that way. And this is going to really help you, again, build that more direct relationship with each person. A great example of this is one of my past companies, HubSpot, with HubSpot Academy. We built a membership experience that was all centered around learning. Our point of view was, when you learn together, you grow together. You're going to want to learn how to do inbound marketing, how to be better at using HubSpot, how to be better at selling, how to be better at using our HubSpot tools. So we built HubSpot Academy as a membership experience to pull people into a more curated set of content, learning experiences, programs that helps them learn, helps them grow as a person. This has been a huge driver of HubSpot's growth. In fact, about 20% of all HubSpot leads come in through HubSpot Academy through this membership experience. And the vast majority of all customers, use it in some way. It also fuels their product-led growth as well, which is, their free set of tools, because we're teaching people how to use those free tools through the HubSpot Academy membership. The third channel is customer-led growth. This is all about capturing, after you capture demand, this is all about converting that demand to help you create new demand. Create, capture, convert. So this is all about the value that you're trying to deliver to your customers. So you're not going to convert demand that you have into new demand if you haven't delivered value. So think about the value that you're delivering and how do you quantify that? How does reciprocity work here, right? Hopefully you've given a lot to your customers and they're now trying to feel like they can give something back to you. This is about really leaning in and partnering with your customers through voice of customer programs, deeper education. There's a tons of different components to this, but this is all about, yes, of course, like helping customers be successful and renewing, but turning them into advocates. And to me, this is a place where I think a lot of teams are starting to invest more money, but you probably could invest more money here as well. And really think through, how am I going to work with, not work, but empower customers to be basically our best salespeople. This is really, at the end of the day, when it comes to word of mouth flywheel activation, which is one of the key outcomes of the model. You're trying to create a word of mouth flywheel. This is so important. And a great example of this is Gong. If you go to Gong's website, they have a whole section on their app just for customers. And they have built events, content, community, so many things just for their customers. They've invested so much time and money, both publicly and privately, internally in the company, around creating a customer-centric culture and really thinking about how to use or how to partner. I hate to say use, but how to use the value that they're delivering to their customers as an accelerant to their business. So check out gong.io. So let's shift now into the channels. Sorry, not the channels. Just kidding. We just talked about the channels. Let's shift into the offers. So these offers are all about, how do you establish yourself as a trusted authority, as a person that, or as a brand that, gets it, that understands the pain points of what your customers are feeling. How do you build that relationship using content, events, and free products, or just products overall? So we're going to start with content-led growth. Content-led growth is about teaching, inspiring, creating actionable things that people can do. It's ultimately about being very helpful. It's about creating engagement, leads, and pipeline. both new and expansion business. But the components of content are vast. There's so many different types of content you can create. You can create structured content, unstructured content, micro content, long form content, zero-click content. At the end of the day, like, content's going to be used across all three of those channels to really create a more people first and people centric motion. But you got to do it with the right approach. And this is, again, partnering with other people to create that content with you, sharing their stories, their expertise, their experience. I always say the best content is about 80% done or 90% done with other people as a partner in creating that content. Don't go off and do it alone. There's no point, because now to do it alone, you just use AI. You can just use AI to do that. But what you want to do is take the thing that maybe AI helped you get started in writing, and then infuse that with personal stories of people that can bring the AI kind of piece of content to life, because AI does not know those stories. It just doesn't. A great example of this is DataBox. They actually do it in a slightly different way. They do it with original research, which I think is a fantastic way to do content-led growth these days. They do it with research that helps people understand deeper around a set of metrics, benchmarks. They've also activated a huge community of people to contribute to their blog. They have an amazing blog, an amazing content strategy. Pete, who's the CEO of DataBox, writes about this a lot on LinkedIn. Pete Caputa. Check out their website. Check out that example. Great content-led growth example. Moving on to the second different type of people first GTM offer, event-led growth. Event-led growth is fantastic when it comes to how do you create engagement and community in a moment of time. This is mostly around live, online, and in-person events. You could also think about them as webinars, trainings, etc. Events are vast. If you think about this on the right-hand side of the slide, it's all about participation, networking, connection, yes, some content, and most importantly, I think event-led growth is only done live. If it's a pre-recorded thing, I mean, technically it's just a piece of content to some degree, right? However, event-led growth can be used again across all three of the different channels, create, capture, and convert demand. It's about driving registration, attendance, engagement, and then seeing that through to revenue. Is someone going to come to an event and turn into a customer right away? Most likely not. It's going to take some nurturing, but it's going to be a great catalyst to build and then grow that relationship. And over time, you can see that events influence the vast majority of your revenue if you use them in the right parts of that customer journey. A great example of this is a longtime SaaS company named Salesforce. They started in 1999. The internet was around, of course, but they were doing a lot of events before even like webinars were a really big thing. They were going to a lot of cities. They were doing a ton of events. Their Dreamforce event was probably the flagship SaaS event for a long time, might still be, but Salesforce still does a tremendous amount of online events and in-person events. They hundreds. If you look at their website and you type in Salesforce webinars, events, Trailhead, the amount of events they use across the customer lifecycle is enormous. They really know how to use event-led growth to create that people first, experience. And then lastly, the last type of offer you can put into these three channels is product-led growth. Products, at the end of the day, are what people buy. This is all about how do you create an ease of access, ease of use, ease of purchase. How do you build trust through delivering value before someone even gives you money? Like really quick, really substantial value. This has become a very common thing for a lot of SaaS businesses, even non-SaaS businesses. If you think about what you see in the grocery store with a product-led growth approach, you have a free sample, free trial. Let me try that product. That tastes good. Let me buy that product right now. That is product-led growth, folks. So product-led growth can be used in a ton of different ways, in a ton of different examples. It does not have to be for SaaS, but product-led growth is, again, all about how do I get someone to value quickly? How do I make onboarding really easy? It potentially is touchless purchase. I can swipe a credit card and someone can buy my product through one swipe of a credit card. It doesn't always have to be that, though. It can be sometimes just, hey, I want to try this out, a free trial, or I want to have a sales assisted motion with my product-led growth motion. There's a lot of flavors of product-led growth these days. The fact remains, though, it's a very, very viable way to get people to understand what your product does and to actually see its value before they even give you any money. This is all about sign up, activation, and then of course the retention of people using your product, which if they're retaining and keep using it, they're most likely going to keep buying more of it, if you will. There's so many examples of this, just like with all of these people first go-to-market channels. I'll highlight one right now, which is Notion. It's a document and collaboration kind of software. We use it with a lot of our customers at TACK. Notion, great example. You can sign up, easy, free, and then you can upgrade from there based off of how you use it. So many examples from all of the project management tools, the CRM tools, marketing automation tools. I'm sure Klaviyo is a free product experience, right? Or free trial. So, it's all about like what's the best flavor of product-led growth for your company. And again, it can be used as physical products as well. You can do it. You definitely can. So those are the 3 different types of offers you put into the market, the 3 channels, and overall the partner-led growth motion you can create when you activate these channels. So hopefully you're getting a little bit more of a sense of, instead of thinking about your go-to-market as this crazy road that's zigging and zagging, you're saying, no, I'm going to focus on these 7 things. I'm not going to do all 7, maybe out of the gate. I'm going to focus on 1 or 2 that I feel like I am the strongest and most suited to do, with partner-led always being something that you do. And I'm going to dive more into events or content or activate the community, or maybe I have so many resources, I want to change how I deliver those resources and build a membership experience. These motions are all about how to help you just focus a little bit more on the things that are going to have the biggest impact. And over time, like Klaviyo, like HubSpot, you might be able to create a really big word of mouth flywheel that is feeling more like this. You're kind of just going down the road. It feels nice. It's never going to feel exactly like this, but you've created this great word of mouth flywheel. You've created a really great brand because of these things, because you've taken a people first approach. There's more brand trust and empathy than there was when you were more company first. And you've started to create an ecosystem, a small ecosystem or a big ecosystem around your business. It doesn't matter if you're a small local business or a really big online business, SaaS business. You can build an ecosystem. As an example, I have a business in my local community that's building an ecosystem right now. It's a fishmonger. He's doing things that bring other businesses together throughout the year. One of them is his Oyster Fest coming up. And look, like, he's partnered with all these other businesses to be at this really one-day big festival that happens every year now. And he's showcasing other businesses as part of that. That is building an ecosystem. That is partner-led growth. That is activating the community. And that is definitely driving customers. So think about this in the context of your business. I hope this was helpful. If you want to go deeper into any of these different parts of the people first go-to-market model, check out the workbook. You can find it on tackgtm.com. The link is right now on your screen as well. We update it every month with new content. It's like 45 slides, I think, now. And if you want to go really deep, I hope you join us. Oh, there it is. You can see that. You can see the model there. I hope you join us and you join Club PF. Club PF is a club for anyone in B2B go-to-market who want to learn a new way to grow their brand, grow revenue, and build a more enduring brand using this people-first go-to-market approach. It comes with a ton of resources, a ton of value. I post something new every single day in that club. We do weekly masterclasses, monthly events. We have a ton of resources in it. We share a ton of examples. There's almost 150 members in the club now. I really hope you can join us in Club PF. It's only $15 a month. It's well worth the money. I promise you that. All right, that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Now, just remember, think about now how you can make your GTM a little bit more people first, less company first. And trust me, it's going to help you create more word of mouth, more affinity with your customers and buyers. And at the end of the day, it's going to help you create more revenue. And that's what we're all about. Thanks. Take care.